Hello, my name is Jacorlin Stans Harper, and I am a student in counseling 6324, substance abuse and addictive disorders. I am here with an interviewee who is going to share their story about their encounters with addiction as well as recovery. I'm going to start with the questioning. And so my first question would be, um, did you, in your time of choosing either drugs, alcohol, or whatever your addictive personality picked up, um, what was your drug of choice?
My drug of choice was alcohol first, and then it turned into cocaine. Um, and I tried meth a couple times.
Okay. And so what made both alcohol, cocaine, and meth, what made those your preferred choice of substance?
It was really I couldn't deal with life any type of emotion. Like if I was happy, it was a reason for me to drink. If I was sad, definitely a reason to drink. If I was excited, drink and use. If I was fearful, I would drink and use. Like I couldn't really deal with any any like anything on life with life, like it allowed me to be whoever I wanted to be, even though it wasn't true. It allowed me to be who I wanted to be. I had doing it because I wanted to. I know it became where I needed it.
And that was kind of a good segue to the next question. I wanted to know, when you chose to utilize alcohol or any of the other substances, did you ever pair any of those at the same time? Like, were you doing them simultaneously? And if you
Yes.
were, what effects did that have on you?
Of course, when I was drinking, if I was drinking, um, I was using cocaine, and if I was doing cocaine, I was drinking. But it allowed me to drink even more. Doing cocaine allowed me to drink even more than I was used to. Like I was always a heavy drinker while I was in the military, but then when cocaine got involved, I became even more heavier, and yeah, I would always maybe 5, 6 days out the week would be using or drinking.
Okay. You said also it allowed you to be a different person almost. And so can you kind of
Mm-hmm.
expound on that a little bit? Um, in what ways were you allowed to be that different person?
I didn't have like really fear. Like I was overcompensating because a lot of like deep stuff made me mad, sad, or fearful, and I didn't want to feel that way. I didn't want to get to the problem, the root of the problem. So alcohol allowed me a temporary release. Either I could forget about the problem and say screw it, and, or I could, you know, uh, you know, uh, um, create something as far as like if it was a situation that made me feel like that, when I was a kid and all of this stuff. So it was a lot of stuff. AA saved my life and CA saved my life. If like AA taught me that even when I would get mad and when I was drinking and I was like, damn, I've done it again. I said I was gonna have, and now I'm totally hammered. So then I get mad at myself and have to drink even more and use even more because now I'm punishing myself. Like you know, it was just an ongoing cycle. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm sorry. And it's okay. We're in the recording, but it's cutting out. It's kind of almost like robotic. And so some of it I'm
Oh,
hearing and it's kind of cutting out in the midst of you explaining your answer to the question. I'm not gonna re-ask that question because you did expound on it, but it's really hard. It's kind of cutting in and out.
it is still cutting in and out right now.
Not right now.
Oh, it probably was because I. Oh well, here I'll say it again if you want me to, if it
Okay.
helps
Yeah, you
anybody.
can. I mean, you can.
Yeah.
And
What was
the
the
question
question
the
again?
question was, how were you able to be that different person that you explained that you become when you were using drugs
Oh,
and alcohol?
oh yes, it was like alcohol was but a symptom. Then I learned that in AA, and AA saved my life because I thought I had a drinking and drug problem, but what I really had was a life problem because I couldn't deal with myself. I couldn't deal with the things that I created or the things that happened to me. So I would bury them deep. I drank about it, and I'd use about it. And every time I tried to quit, like on my own self will, I'd be like, I'm never gonna do it. I promised myself, I swore to myself, and then I'd end up taking a shot or something like that, and then there it goes again. It started this with an AA they call a allergic reaction of just me. I couldn't control it, and I'm thinking it's just a drug and alcohol problem, but not even getting to the root of the problem. Why I'm drinking? What's making me mad right now? What's making me sad? Why can't I live life? Why do I have to be on some type of substance to go through life? And AA definitely solved that for me. I mean,
And you
and a
said
sponsor.
AA called it an allergic reaction.
Yes, it's an allergy. No, it's an allergy. That's what they say. Like that it sets off a phenomenon of craving that you know this is all in the AA book if anybody wants to read it. It's none of my stuff. But when I first came into AA, I was like, this is corny. This shit is corny, man. Like I was like, y'all over here talking about y'all problems. Actually, I like to avoid my problems. Like that's how I do it. Alcohol and cocaine allow me to avoid it. Like y'all talking about this shit. Like it's man, let's take some shots. That's how my sad, insane thinking. Like I never solved anything. I would avoid it because it was uncomfortable to me.
Mhm.
Looking at my life and what had happened, even good or bad, it was uncomfortable. So alcohol made me comfortable. I could live in this fantasy world and become like anything I wanted to be. And I know for me, it became so overwhelming at towards the end, like with health decisions. Like I didn't go into AA with my chest up and my chin out. I was out of options. I was I was drinking every day. I snorted every day. I lost the apartment, the girl, the car, the everything, and I was living in a trap house. And that was it. That was and I wanted to blame everybody and everything, but never myself. I never could. It was never my fault. So I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you speak very highly of AA,
Yes.
and I want to tell you congratulations on finding um a positive way out of substance abuse,
Uh-huh.
a healthy way, let me say that. And so congratulations on taking that step and
Hmm.
knowing how often you need it and where you can go, right?
Hmm.
So one thing I've read this semester is how spirituality and religion
Hmm.
coincide with um, substance abuse programs such as
Yeah.
AA, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
my next question is, do you have spiritual beliefs? And if you do, how have they assisted you in your process of recovery?
Oh yes. Yes, I'm very spiritual now. Because of AA, like one of the first step is admitting that we are powerless over alcohol and that our lives have become unmanageable, and came to the second one is came to believe that power greater than ourselves. But before I say that is the I resented God. I resented because of the way I grew up and all of that. I resented God. So the God of my understanding, which AA introduced me to, like a God where he understands my addictions and all of this stuff. All I had to do was to submit myself and admit that I had a problem and that I wasn't the highest power, that I had a higher power. And it's kind of like a weight on your chest. Cocaine and alcohol was a weight on my chest I couldn't get off. All God was waiting for was me to say, you know what, I can't handle this thing. Can I put it in your hands? Like the spirituality of it was what saved my life, because I thought I was the end all be all and all of this stuff. But it's a power greater than myself that I give it to God I choose to call my higher power God. I give it to him every morning and I say, God, whatever happens today, whether good or indifferent, I don't want to use today. I know this is, you're using my test as a testimony, everything that I've been through. So everything, like getting sober, my life didn't get easier. It just, I could actually confront problems. I could look the world in the eye. And because I have a power greater than myself, I was getting power from a baggie, and a bottle. That's where my power, and that runs out, especially when you run out of money. but
Yeah,
that runs out, and I got an unlimited power source in my higher power that I can go to with all my problems, and you know and face them, and learn to accept life on life terms. Like that's one thing I couldn't accept. Like when I got sober, I thought everything was gonna be cool. My mom was gonna move back to Houston and stuff. No, that didn't happen. I didn't get the girl back. I didn't get everything back. Like that. And some of the stuff won't come back. But I had to accept that because I'm not the highest power. It's not my world. I'm just living in it. So I accept the things I can't change, and God grant me serenity to accept the things that I could not change, and that really makes a lot of sense because we don't have peace when something doesn't go our way. We're like, oh man, this person cut me off and all that. That's right where it's supposed to be. But yes, if
okay.
that's but spirituality, because you have different religions that come into AA. You have like Buddhists, Muslims, atheists, agnostic, everybody. But if you find a higher power of your understanding, whether it's a group of drunks, or just as long as it's not you, like you're not the highest power, because my self will, I should say, ran me into being a junkie and an alcoholic, and I was ashamed to admit that. Once I like and it's the truest thing. I got this all out of the AA book. Once I admitted all of that, like admitted a fact of life that I was an alcoholic for one, and I was a cocaine addict for two. And I can admit a lot of other things in my life, and I can accept that. So now that I accept that I'm alcoholic, okay, what am I going to do about this problem? I'm
Right.
going to give it to my higher power and face it. But oh yeah, I'm going on a
No,
tangent.
it's okay. Let me just say, I appreciate you for being very candid and sharing very openly your
Mm-hmm.
experiences whether it be the highs or the lows. So I just want to stop in the middle and just let you know that I appreciate everything that you are sharing.
Oh, no, no problem.
Let me segue with you. You did start talking about family and how your substance abuse kind of affected some of those relationships. So my next question is, how did the addiction affect your social interactions with family and friends?
I had I lost a lot of respect from a lot of family and friends because I like to pretend I got my shit together, and that wasn't the case, but because I was living in a lie. And once I could be honest, and but in my addiction, I lost respect for my family, of course, and my friends, and just seeing how low I had gotten, like just living in a dope house, snorting cocaine all day. That's what I did. That was me. So, and I thought it didn't affect anybody. I was like, I'm not hurting anybody. I'm just hurting me. But I affected a lot of people, and especially with my mother finding out about my drug abuse, my drug usage. She thought it was just alcohol because she knew I had an alcohol problem. I was the only dummy that didn't know it. But uh, it broke her heart. She ended up moving to Austin, not just because of me, but because of I guess all her kids were going through something. But it had to be me. I remember the day or two before rehab, I was throwing up in her in her in her restroom, and she was just standing at the door, just shaking her head. And I ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm like, it was the bad peanut butter. I was angry. It was but it was because I was on cocaine and I hadn't eaten in 2 3 days, and my body was just towards the end. I blamed everybody, and I blamed my friends for introducing me to cocaine, but I resented a lot of them because I was like, man, they could have stopped me anytime, but nobody was gonna stop me, and nobody could stop me, and nobody could make me quit. Like nobody could make me drink, and nobody could make me stop. So I had to take responsibility and accountability.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And my next question is, I know you mentioned it, but how often did you use? I know you say you use daily, but even within
Mm-hmm.
those days, how often would you use?
I would drink from sun up to sundown. That was cool. And when I had cocaine, which I did have a lot of, I would use whenever I had a chance. It was daily. Like I'd probably go like a gram or two, maybe like in the night, and then throughout the day, I don't know. I would just do random lines. And especially if I was drinking, which I probably was. I was drinking all the time. That's how I woke myself up with a line of coke, and I thought like it was so much, man. I was like, man, I couldn't stop even if I wanted to. Like Tuesday would make a year, May 9th would make a year. I tried to stop multiple times on my own self will, multiple times. Like promised myself, said I was gonna get a job, all this stuff, but I couldn't keep a job because I was always on drinking on a job or using cocaine.
Well, congratulations on your upcoming 1 year anniversary.
Yes.
Super proud of you for that. Um, when you would wake up in the morning, what thoughts would be going through your head that would trigger you to want to use? Was it simply the childhood things, or would it be um, things that would happen in the morning, or just what would be your triggers?
Depression. I was dealing with a lot of depression, a lot of PTSD. That I was self medicating from all of my anxiety and all of that, and like what caused me to wake up and use, just I'd be depressed situation, and knowing that I couldn't stop, and I had that itch I couldn't scratch, like that monster. in me that needed to be fed. Like that's why it was a lion. That's why I call it like uh the substance and alcohol abuses. It was like a lion that it was always hungry. Like there could never be any beer near me because I drank it. Like any type of liquor. It was, and I didn't think I was I didn't think I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I didn't think I people could tell I was drunk, but yeah, everybody's like, "Oh, you're drunk all the time." And then when I wasn't drunk, it it was like people thought like something was wrong. Like why you ain't talking? It's
Mm,
like, oh, I'm okay. Well, you need to drink something because you're not talking here. And plus I was very very suicidal. Like my body is marked up. Like I was cutting myself. I went to a mental institution and I lied to the doctors and told them, oh, I'm okay, and all this stuff. But it was bad, bad, bad.
I'm glad to see you on the other side of it, though. Um,
Oh yes, I am too.
yeah, I I have two more questions, and then we'll wrap it up from here.
Okay.
Um, if you subscribe to any religious practices, I mean, you say you have your spiritual beliefs.
Yeah.
What does your spiritual beliefs or your religious or religion say about addiction or self-harm?
Okay. Well, I say the God of my understanding. Like I'm not really religious. I go to church. Well, I went to church last Sunday, the first time in years. But um, the God of my understanding. When I talk and meditate, I mean, when I meditate with God every morning, I give my will over to God. It's a daily thing, a daily reprieve, and this is all in the book. But when you know, it's it's God using my past. My past is my greatest asset. Using that past to maybe help someone else out. That's why we share in AA meetings because my experience, strength, and hope. I don't look like what I've been through, and that's what drew me to my sponsor. I was like, our stories lined up. He liked cocaine as much as I do,
Mm.
but he isn't using right now, and he looks good. Like I was like, yo, what's going on? I was like, bruh, if this program has gotten you like this, and I'm humbled and beaten, and I'm on the ground, I'm scraping, I have the clothes on my back, homeless. I was like, bro, like I gotta get what you had. That's why it's attraction, not promotion. Nobody could tell me to stop drinking. I was attracted to. I had lost everything. I didn't have to lose everything, but what made it so, what made me open ears. Can you hear me? Or
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize.
oh,
I had to cough.
oh, what made me open my ears was when I lost the rock bottom in the book. It says when the thing you lose or the next thing you're about to lose uh, is way more important than alcohol and cocaine. The next thing I was going to lose was my freedom and my life. And that's what humbled me. I was like, bro, I gotta try this. I've tried everything else. I can't do it by myself. I realize that. And now every day I give my will over to God. I talk to my sponsor. I go to meetings every day, and it really, like, I had to be beaten down for God to have my attention. He was tapping me on the shoulder. I lose little things, money, the car, the apartment, but the sledgehammer was I was about to lose my freedom. Like, and I was gonna lose my life. Not freedom as in I'd never been to jail, but it was my self-preservation was gone. Like I didn't care. I was walking around with drugs on me. I was drinking and just didn't care where I was going. I would walk down the street, middle of 3 a.m., middle of the night, just walking, doing lines that was in my pocket or having a drink on me. Just as a young veteran, I was on the street, like just, and it was sad. It was sad. Like this was maybe last year. My birthday was April 12th. And on April 12th, I was crying in a trap house, flipping over tables. And I wasn't crying because I wanted to stop. I was crying because I ran out of money and dope at the same time. And my story is just like anybody else. Is like I didn't want to stop. Like I didn't want to stop. Like I had to admit, I thought AA. And I'm gonna be quiet after this. I thought AA was gonna teach me how to hate cocaine and hate drugs and hate alcohol. It didn't teach me that. It taught me to be honest with myself. I like alcohol, but I can't handle it. I can't control it. When I drink and I use, my life goes to crap. And that's a fact of life. 10 years of using and drinking, it's a fact of life. If I drink one time, I don't need no more proof. I've earned my seat in AA. That I didn't need no more proof. But the kicker was, once I was honest and I was able to admit that, like, okay, I can't do it. I can't drink. Now what? Like I could actually accept that fact of life. Because a lot of people like peanut butter and stuff, but they have a nut allergy. So it's like, do you want the consequences? Like, if I drink again today, I don't get to choose the consequences like some people do. Like, and I that used to bother me, and I used to not be able to talk about it. But now I look at it as a blessing, because I'm like, damn, a lot of people don't get to have sobriety every day, and at least I did stop in a good time. I stopped right when God wanted me to, but like it was affecting my health. Like I couldn't drink without get swelling. Like the last couple months, like I would swell every time I took a shot. Like my throat, my tongue, my face, I still would drink heavily. And I just wear a mask or a hat, still be drinking. And the doctor's like, your liver, man, is like, you have a drinking problem. I was like, I can't stop. I can't. I was gonna die. Mm-hmm.
Wow. You said one thing that I want to kind of divert to, and then we're going to have our last question because we have about 4 minutes left in this interview.
Oh, okay.
But you said that your story is like anybody else's. Your story of addiction is the same as anybody else's, but it's not. You have a very unique story. You are a very young man, and the life you've experienced is very unique to you and your journey. And so I don't want you to ever link your journey into the story of everybody else that uses, right? Because it is very unique that you're in this space now, being able to share the pitfalls and the mountain experiences that you've had. So I just wanted to kind of give you that little tidbit.
Yeah.
But
thank you. Thank
you're
you.
welcome. My last question is, what struggles have you faced since beginning the journey towards sobriety?
Oh yes. So sobriety is just one thing.
Mhm.
After that, sobriety is just the beginning. It's a journey. Like it's not a goal. So every day it's a different journey. Like different things I had to accept and deal with is my health issues now. I have high blood pressure because all the drinking and cocaine use. Um, my life isn't is I'm building a bigger foundation, a better foundation, and I like at first like it's in the book. It says more to be revealed. My understanding is getting better. I didn't even know I like to read. I love to read now. Like I read at least 2 books a month, but the problems don't go away. You're on that pink cloud when you first get sober and you want to talk about, how you're still sober, but life's like they say in AA, life's keep lifing. Life is gonna keep lifing. You're gonna have problems. You might not get the wife or the husband back. Your kids might still dislike you or resent you because of the stuff you did in your alcoholism and your drug abuse. You know, you and that's why you have good sponsorship and like a good support system like an AA and CA, because you can go and talk to these people. Like in the book it says I couldn't see the forest because of some ugliness of the little trees and stuff. In AA, they're that different vision. That different vision. Like if you look over here, here's how beautiful this forest is. Your little trees that you're going through, they're big to you, yes, of course, but that isn't the end all be all. Like I can live on life terms today, like no matter what. Every day I have a daily stay of execution that I give my will over to God. I try to be a better person, service, and I know and finding AA, man, in the book it says, and it's the truth for me. It says I came to these rooms, which is AA, for alcohol and drug abuse, and in these rooms I found myself. I found myself in AA, and if people stick around, because and they'll find themselves too, and that's just my experience. Hopefully, you don't have to lose a lot to have your ears open. I had to lose a substantial amount, like for me to open my ears and be humble and be open to suggestions from another human being, because I thought, man, I was like, you know what? I ain't listening to nobody. But listening to me got me into a mental facility and a rehab for 45 days. And I was so scared because when I left rehab, I didn't give AA a shot. I was just like, nah, I'm going to try it again. I left rehab and I was in a gas station shaking because I seen beer for the first time in a long time where I could buy it. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, I don't want to drink, man. I don't. I really don't. And luckily, a friend of mine who was in my addiction with me, he was just like me. He told me some real stuff. He was like, bro, are you ready to stop drinking? And like, he was sober for 2 years. And he's like, are you going to be rigorous